Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're taking a look at the ACW-R versus the MTAR-21. Now last week I uploaded a video on my top 5 favourite carbines, and a lot of you were wondering why the MTAR didn't make the list and why the ACW-R wasn't higher than it was. I will admit that both of these guns are decent weapons and they're definitely great in close quarters, but there's a few pretty important reasons why I don't use them as much as other carbines. If you're a fan of either of these weapons, then make sure you stick through to the end of the video, because I'm going to try and walk you through my impressions of both of these guns, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on them in the comments below. But anyway, to kick off, these guns are the fastest firing carbines in the game, with the MTAR clocking in at 900 RPM and the ACW-R firing at a slightly slower 880 RPM. Both weapons deal the standard carbine damage model of 25 damage out to 8 meters, which drops off to 15.4 damage at 50 meters. This means that at close range, both guns are going to be up there with the highest DPS weapons in the game, but at mid to long range, they won't be quite so effective. Now, the problem with most high RPM weapons is that the penalty for a high DPS is a less stable weapon. The recoil pattern of both guns is pretty bad, but the MTAR has a slightly better vertical kick, and the ACW-R has a slightly better horizontal pull. Generally speaking, horizontal recoil is the harder to control, so a lot of people would argue that the ACW-R comes out on top in this respect, but honestly the difference is hardly noticeable. Both guns are pretty unruly, and I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. They'll both take a bit of time to learn how to shoot properly, and you'll need to learn the appropriate times to hipfire, mag dump and microburst to be effective. The most noticeable difference though between the two guns is that the ACW-R is a conventional design and the MTAR is a bullpup. Basically, this means that the mechanism and the magazine of the MTAR are placed behind the trigger group, which makes it shorter than the ACW-R without sacrificing barrel length. A shorter weapon is easier to wield in close quarters, so the MTAR has a slightly better moving ADS spread and hipfire than the ACW-R, but as a trade-off, it's slightly less accurate when standing and takes much longer to reload. These characteristics make the MTAR a beast at point blank range, but the problems start to surface when you come up against more than one enemy, or when your targets are at mid to long range. The MTAR has one of the slowest reload speeds in the class, and takes more than half a second longer to reload than the ACW-R, which on the other hand has the fastest reload speed of any weapon in the game. At the end of the day, if you don't have any bullets in your magazine, your 900 RPM rate of fire doesn't mean anything, and getting caught on the reload is something that unfortunately you'll just have to get used to with any bullpup weapon. The other issue with bullpups is that they're much less accurate at longer ranges, and this will cause you to miss more shots and force that reload much quicker than you might like. The ACW-R isn't terribly stable or accurate at long range either, but it does do a whole lot better than the MTAR, and even though it fires a little bit slower, it will end up working a lot better on larger maps. One benefit the MTAR does have at longer ranges though is the fact that it has a faster muzzle velocity, which will make leading targets a bit easier. All in all though, it's just not enough, and the ACW-R definitely comes out as the better all-round carbine, even though its DPS isn't quite as high. So the question is, if the ACW-R is a better all-round gun than the MTAR, then why isn't it higher on my top 5, and why do so many people disagree with me? Well, I guess it all comes down to playstyle. If you're a run and gun player, you're probably gonna love both of these weapons, and if you're a passive player and you take your time with your shots, then both of these guns are probably gonna seem a little underwhelming. You really need to get in close with any carbine to take out a lot of targets, and unfortunately, you need to get even closer with the ACW-R and the MTAR. This is also unfortunately where the shotguns and PDWs will be, and who can forget that AEK around almost every corner. So I guess what I'm saying is that both of these weapons aren't bad guns, and in fact they're very good at what they do, but neither are really exceptional all-round weapons, and I probably wouldn't rely on either to get me through any situation. I understand that some of you guys love these guns though, so what I want you guys to do is let me know what you think is the better carbine, and let me know how you use them and what maps you prefer them on. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. If you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.